goes over to this other country over in Australia. Here's this lady with her baby, and he said he knew he shouldn't have not taken her on the mission field because she was sensitive. And there was her baby laying down, and they was eating in this restaurant. And all of a sudden, a couple of these Australians passed by and laughed. Look at that dummy. And walked on to the counter. About this time, she's mad, and tears coming out her eyes. He said, now he's upset. And he goes to the counter and say, would you believe that these people had the audacity to call this lady's baby a dummy? And when the folks looked down in the little baby's carriage, the baby had a pacifier. You know what they said? Over here, we call pacifiers dummies. Some stuff might just be your imagination if you haven't went to that sister and asked her what's the problem. Then there are some folks who intentionally hurt you. And then there are some folks who didn't mean a thing. But if you take that bait, you are in trouble. If you don't believe me, believe Moses. When he got mad with the folk, he smoked the rock. He was in trouble. And then there was Jesus. The Bible says he discerned the thoughts of his disciples. And the thought was, he don't know what he's doing. Jesus turned and say, what's that you're thinking? Kept moving. Imagine this. He's discipling these men. Folks are noticing changes in them. I don't know if they've been to school or not, but you can tell that they've been with what? Say it. They've been with Jesus. Same men saw the miracles. Same men seen him walk the water. Same men that saw Lazarus raised from the dead. Now here comes a prostitute. And she gets down and she began to wash his feet with her tears. The custom back then was when you had sorrowful times, you cast your tears in a bottle. And it was honor for you to have that assisting you in your grave. But she took her tears from her past life and poured them out on Jesus' feet and washed his feet. Those who loved him, they said, grabbed the woman, snatched her, and threw her out of the church. Back to Adam and Eve. What's right? Who's wrong? What's up? What's down? He said, leave the lady alone. She has shown me more love than you have. Took an alabaster box and broke it on the head. And can you imagine when folks riding by this lady's house, Jesus' donkey parked in front of her house? Look at somebody say, imagine that. See? You see what he did? Told to leave her alone. Imagine that. So we have to watch that we don't take offense or take the bait. That's why churches don't grow 10,000, 20,000. We who have to work in close proximity, somewhere down the line, you're going to offend somebody. Because if all of us are real close and jammed together, somewhere I'm going to step on your toe. If we are in close what? Proximity. And this ministry teaches you to be in close proximity. Am I right? Yes. So somebody, somewhere is going to be what? Offended. But I cannot take. Everybody get something out. Let's get it out. And dangle it in somebody's face. And say, you know what? I don't like your mama. Hello? I don't like your mama. But the Bible says don't take the bait. Now, right now, if I had a wheelbarrow that had $1 million in it, it was in 100 bills, all 100 bills. And I brought this wheelbarrow up here and said, as many as you can get out in a minute, you can have. Am I right? Ready, set, go. I don't like your mama. I don't like your daddy either. Your sister, her head snappy. You need to wipe your baby's nose. Yeah, I do. I don't like mama either sometimes. It wouldn't affect you. Hello, somebody? It wouldn't affect you. But why can't you see when you come to the house of God and somebody is ministering to you, you are receiving wealth. Somebody say wealth. Say wealth. Say wealth. Now, my conclusion. It carries over to the New Testament. Hebrews 5 says Jesus had to do the same thing. He had to have a father. Came just like Aaron, the Bible said. The order did not stop in the Old Testament. It continued where? In the New. How many remember Paul? And there was Timothy. And there was Titus. Trouble in Corinth. People were devouring one another. Your gift made you great. Your talent made you great. That's the idea that they had in the Corinthian church. But I was talking the other day. When they made your garment, they had Baal's pomegranate. Baal, pomegranate. Baal, pomegranate. The bells were gifts that were given. But the fruit had to be grown. Talents, gifts God give us. But the fruit of the Spirit, help me. But the fruit of the Spirit is what? Why? Why? If there were no pomegranates in between the bells or the gifts or the talents, they would constantly be clanging and making a bunch of noise in competition. Am I right? Cannot work together, cannot get a good sound out of this. So they put pomegranates in the middle to let you know you have to have some fruit with your, you got to like people. So they were in Corinth. Gifts were flourishing. I'm just about through. Gifts were flourishing. People speaking in tongues, prophesying, and they were doing it out of order. So the man said, be quiet, be quiet, be quiet. He didn't say indefinitely, not even to ladies. Then he says, brother, let's go back to prophesying, go back to preaching, and etc. But he brought order what? To that house. Hello? So a house have to have what? Order. There are house rules. Living here in Sarasota about 16, there were things that Apostle Lake would say to me. Now, Daddy just don't know. Times have changed. And this guy's trying to hold me to this because I'm a preacher's son. Wait a minute, man. Times change. He needs to see this differently. But as I grew up and became a preacher, then I see exactly what Dad is what? Talking about. It has to happen this way. House order. Now, when Paul received the letter, he said, I'm not coming. But then there is somebody who has been around me, who served me. I've imparted into them, and they received it. And his name is Timothy. I am going to send Timothy to you. And Timothy is going to put you in the remembrance of my ways. So when you see him, you will see me.